All right. Hey guys, this is Noelle Cruz. Thank you so much for joining us on our weekly team Zoom. I am really excited because tonight we have a very special guest, and I am so thankful that she's going to take some time to spend with us tonight because you guys, with what is going on in the world right now, she is exactly the person that I want to talk to. So Carla Burns, you guys, Dr. Carla Burns has been with It Works for 13 years. She is an MD, obviously, of natural medicine. She has been on TED Talks. She wrote the book What Walt Knew, which actually I haven't read, Carla, but I'm really curious about. I know that you and Denise talk about that all the time, and I'm just super intrigued by everything like quantum physics related, which I think is really cool. But you guys, she has been a top earner in this company for many years, and her husband, a lot of you would know as like the voice, Chris Burns, if you've been to a lot of events. So Carla, I just wanted to bring you on and introduce you to everyone. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Go ahead, unmute yourself again.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to be here tonight. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, hold on. I got to find you. There you are. Okay. We got to spotlight you.
Okay.
There you are. Hi. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Hi.
So,
how are you?
I'm good. So, brief introduction, but if you could tell everybody like who you are and where you're from and why you landed in Florida. Well, you're going to
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, yes, thank you for the introduction. I just recently finished my PhD, so I am a doctor of natural medicine and integrative with an emphasis in, like you said, quantum physics. So, it sounds it sounds really complicated, but quantum physics is really just looking at things from a really small perspective. So we look at it almost like studying the invisible, which to me is like faith. So I've been doing that my whole life. So we'll talk more about that later. But all right, so let me see. I have been with It Works almost 13 years now. I was working as a registered nurse, so I've always been in healthcare. And started as a registered nurse, didn't even think I was looking for anything. Just, thought I was already living the dream, had a good job. Chris had a good job. We had the house, we had the kids, we went on vacation, but we really didn't have a plan B. So I didn't even know that I needed a plan B. I didn't even know I was looking for what I have right now. So, a lot of people out there, they don't even realize because you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, I've been doing that for 13 years, and really just this business has grown me into the person that I know I was always meant to become, like all of us are. We all have this greatness in us, but the key is getting around people that can see that in you, that can pull it out of you, getting around the same type of energy. So I really believe that my success in life, not just in my business, came from this opportunity in being around that right type of people. So yeah, I'm excited to chat with you guys tonight and hopefully share some of my wisdom on products and building the business. And I'm open to questions. So yeah, fire away.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited that you mentioned just that you know that this business has surrounded you with the type of people and has developed you into the person that you were called to be, not just in the business, but in life. And I love that because we always say this business is a personal development plan with it's a personal development program with a compensation plan. And do you think it takes a little while sometimes for new distributors when they first come on board to discover that this isn't just about earning that extra money, that it isn't just about earning that extra paycheck?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think of it almost like church. So, sorry, I just had to get moved around.
Your house is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think of it like church. So you can go to church your whole entire life, but if you don't get involved with the small group, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. So you can join this business and you can go to conference and, you can show up like at church on Christmas and Easter, but it's so important to get around other people consistently. So would I have been where I am right now if I had just, went to conference once a year? I don't think so. I think it was that daily or even weekly, even monthly, we were so committed to, really empowering each other, because in the beginning we were it. I mean, we didn't have the tools that we have today. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Zoom. It was in the homes. It was driving 2 hours to do a party and 2 hours home. And sometimes only 2 people would show up. But we always had each other to encourage each other. You know what? It's okay. 2 showed up and 1 bought something. And, you just never know what's going to happen with that. And then, I think it was a combination of that, of showing up and staying dedicated, getting around those people that were encouraging you, and then just not having everything that we have now. We had to make it work. So we had to do what it took to make it work if we were going to make it work. So, I mean, you guys have it easy. You have it so easy. So, us that have been in here for, over 10 years, it's really hard when someone tells me that they can't, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if you only knew, you have everything you need to be successful. So, yeah, that's been kind of fun.
I know. I kind of
Seeing
feel
it
like
grow.
you and like Denise and Cami and Melody, like I feel like you guys are like the pioneers of the business. You've been here so long and you did it, like you said, back in the day without the social media and without all the technology. And I even know when I came in 7 years ago, we didn't have anything like this. We had conference
Right.
calls. And, we would tune into a conference call, and that was how we tuned into like this, like a team meeting.
Yeah.
But it's, Denise is 2.5 hours on the other side of the state from me, but she's a black diamond. And I know that in order to go up, I have to show up. And so I will drive 2.5 hours just to spend a few hours with her to do a work session, because I know that it's so important just to stay plugged in. So, I mean, I think that really distinguishes the people who will succeed, is the people who don't say, I can't, but the people who say, I will, and I'll find a way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I was asked this question the other day of how long does it take the average person to get their customers or their 3 distributors? And I said, you know what? I can tell you right away that there is the type of person that is going to do it in 48 hours. And then there's the type of person that it might take them a year. And it's got nothing to do with the business, the tools, what we have to offer. It is what's going on in that person's head and what's going on in their life at that time. Because, I mean, you can look at someone even like me. When I first signed up for this business, I was not looking for an opportunity. I wasn't desperate for an opportunity. I had a job. This was something that I was going to do on the side, maybe. I really wasn't that one that was like, I need this to put food on my table this week. So there's just going to be different types of people that come into the business, and getting frustrated or trying to make it happen with someone that's just not there yet. That's what I've learned, is that so it kind of is a numbers game a little bit, where you just don't know who's going to run. But when you find the person that's running, then you really want to give them everything that you can. But interestingly enough, I've found that the ones that are running, they don't need a thing. So, yeah, they just go with it, and it's awesome. But there are those, like I said, when I first signed up, I literally took about a year of just, doing a random party every now and then, talking about the product, staying connected. I really didn't run.
That's crazy. And
hmm
how many years? Okay, so just give us a quick timeline of your progression in the business.
So that first year, like I said, I didn't build a team. I shouldn't say I didn't run because I was really excited about our vitamins, actually. That was the product that really got me excited about the business. Or not even about the business, just about the company and about sharing this product. So because I was working as a nurse, I was at the hospital and people trusted my opinion when it came to their health. I found a good vitamin that I liked, so I just started telling everybody, and it was very affordable. So I literally told enough people that I got my car bonus. So I got the car bonus. I don't think we have that anymore, but that was my goal, was getting customers. So I was a really good customer gatherer, and because I knew all of the products. So once I started loving one, then of course I started loving the rest of them. And we only had a handful then. We didn't really have a whole line, so it wasn't a lot to have to try and memorize or get to know. But so yeah, I told people about the products and got my car bonus, and then I started to realize that, oh, this is really extra money. So because Cammie's my sponsor, as I was, I call it dabbling, I was dabbling in it for a year. She was hustling, and she was like, because she needed it. So that was the difference. This was a period of time in Cammie's life where she was a brand new mom, just getting started. They were going to have a baby, that house. She had to make it work. So she was working her butt off. And she did that consistently for a year. And so the difference was, as I dabbled, sure, I was doing what I wanted to do for myself at that time. I just wanted a little bit of extra money for maybe like a vacation fund, get my nails done, go on a date night. And that's what I wanted, so that's what I did. But then I saw what she could do, what she did. And, she was then making up into the double digits. And I saw this, and because I saw where she was and where she went in just a very short time, and it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, I need to learn the business, because I had no idea about the business. I knew about the products. We hear this all the time. There's those four things that you need to feel super confident in order to make this really successful. And one of them is the products. The other is the company. Of course, I loved the company because I knew Mark and Cindy personally, met Cindy at a Bible study, so I believed 1,000% in the company. And then the other two was yourself and the industry. So when it came to believing in myself, I really didn't have anything to believe in myself about, except I was a good nurse, I was a good mom, had no idea that I was capable of doing what I've accomplished up until this date. So that wasn't even, I didn't even have brain cell for that. And then the other was the industry. So I had no clue about network marketing. So when I saw Cammie make that much money, I was like, okay, I need to figure this out, because I went to school to be a nurse. So I learned how to be a nurse. If you want to be a doctor, you learn how to be a doctor. So I knew if I was going to be successful at this business, I had to learn how to do this business. So Pam Souter gave me a book called Beach Money. And when I read that book, another light bulb went off. And I was like, okay, I get it. So this is something kind of like compound interest. I'm going to work at this business. I'm going to gather customers. I'm going to, do parties. I'm going to get distributors. And this is going to be a process that's going to take me about 2 or 3 years of work. And then I'm going to see residual income. So I got it. I was like, okay, I get it. So that's what I did. I took that book and, read it cover to cover. And then I just started focusing on the business. And then a whole can of beans got, started to be mentored by people like Pam Souter, Mark Pentecost, Cammie Dempsey. I mean, these are the best of the best that know this industry. So they started teaching me how to do network marketing, which is really relationship building. It's really just connecting with people, sharing your product, being passionate, and consistency. So the steps that we have are super simple, but you have to do them every day. So you can't do this sporadically like I did in my first year. I got sporadic results. I got exactly out of it what I put into it. And Cami got exactly out of it what she put into it. So that, we call it a law of average. That's a real thing. That's almost like quantum physics. You are going to get out what you put in to anything in life. So, but if you're fine with that, then that's fine too. Like if you want an extra $100, that's awesome. You can make $100. But if you want full-time income, you need to work it full-time. And there's no way around it. That's just the way it is.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. I had just had like a million light bulb moments. So as you guys are having light bulb moments, post them in the chat so we can hear from you and just get some feedback for Carla. Okay, so I want to get into more of like the mindset, quantum physics side of things. But can you talk to us for a minute just about what's going on in our world? First of all, with this virus, if you guys are not muted, can you just mute yourself? I'm getting some really weird feedback. Can you talk to us about what's going on with the virus, first of all, and then second of all, like just where are you at, and what are you teaching your team to do as far as how to deal with everything that's going on?
Right. Well, I mean, from a health perspective and the virus, you know, there's so many different conspiracy theories and what's really going on. And, I would go back and forth, to be honest. I would hear different things, and then I have different circles of people that would tell me, oh no, it's a conspiracy and don't worry about it, it's nothing. But then my sister-in-law is an RN on the front line with patients sick around her. 2 people just died last week, and I'm like, wait, this is real. It's real. You know what, maybe there's some conspiracy behind it, maybe there's not, but it is real, and we have to pay attention. And I have been sitting in this house not socializing with people for at least the past 10 days. So, prior to that, as it was first starting, I would go out a little bit, but I was a little bit more cautious. But now I'm just like, no one's coming in, no one's going out until we get this thing under control, because I do know from a medical perspective that the only way to really get rid of this thing, or like they say, flatten the curve, we need to eradicate the curve, because it just, it's the same mentality as building the business. If you sporadically do it, it's going to take a long time. So if we keep going in and out, saying, yeah, let's gather, yeah, let's not, it's going to take a long time to get rid of this thing. But if we focus and every day consistently stay inside, stay away from people, have minimal contact with, touching other people. Of course, we want to keep the face-to-face and the interaction, but the physical social distancing, that will get rid of it a lot faster. So that's one thing. But then how am I building my business? Well, I mean, if you think about it, this is how we build our business. When they said you have to stay in quarantine, you have to stay home, about 5 days after we were into this, I'm thinking to myself, this is what I do every day. There's no difference. I don't even leave my house usually every day. So, I mean, I might go to the grocery store, but I'm home because I'm doing my business online. I'm doing Zooms. I'm usually texting every day, or, I have a lot of.
Oh, oh, we got you back. Oh, hold on, you're still muted.
There we go.
Got you.
Oh, my thumb hit it or something. But yeah, so this is what we do all the time as working from home. We work from home. So, it's not really been that big of a deal for me to stay at home. But, what's really hitting hard for people is I've been doing this business. So this is my full-time residual income. A lot of people, the masses of people, this is their part-time income. So, or this is just like a side income for them, and they have lost their main income. So now they're home and they're panicked and they're fearful and they're froze, because that's what people do. When they're afraid or they don't know what to do next, they do nothing. So overcoming fear is going to be the number one thing that we address. And so how do we do that? Well, we know that the number one thing that overcomes fear is love. So the more that we can, rather than, I don't know if you guys noticed, but my posts are not really about pushing the business right now. Of course, I'm, dripping a little bit about the coffee, but the majority of my posting is encouraging people, helping them not be afraid, letting them know this is going to pass, all is well. It's just going to be, it's a matter of time, and give them a sense of ease, because they can't do anything in a state of fear. But if they feel like they can breathe a little bit, then you can talk to them about the business. So then you have that open door, because again, it comes back to relationship building. This is not selling. If we wanted to sell something, we'd put it on the home shopping network and we would do a sales pitch, or we'd put it on a shelf and someone would come in and they would just, see our marketing advertising. But this is relationship building. This is the network marketing, is you're using your network of people. That's all the relationships. So what do you do to build a relationship? You have to, be vulnerable and give to people. And so, reaching out, instead of reaching out first saying, oh my gosh, our kits just went on sale for, 50% off. Start with, hey, how are you doing? What do you need the most right now? Because if they are thinking about, how am I going to get diapers this week? Or I ran out of toilet paper. There's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right now, people are needing to feel secure. They're needing a little bit of certainty. So being a good friend to people, reaching out to that, they're going to remember that. And then when you approach them about an opportunity, because now first you got to find out what they need and how you can help them. And then once you know how you can help them, then you can offer them the opportunity or the products that they might need. So first having a little bit of a conversation with people, and then you can do that through Facebook. You can do that through, FaceTiming people. Mm-hmm. So, you really got to get in someone's presence with FaceTime or even voice. Especially right now, it's really critical because people are isolated. So isolation, if you're prone to anxiety or depression, it makes it worse. So seeing someone else's face and being able to contact, like tonight, if I was like this, you wouldn't be feeling me. You wouldn't be hearing me. You'd probably be like texting somebody else or checking your Facebook feed, right?
Yep.
But here I am. So now you're engaged with me. So yeah, that's really important. So think about that when you're posting something. They're just scrolling. Mm-hmm. If they just see an ad or like, buy this something from me, then they're just going to keep scrolling because they're frozen. They're in fear. They're scrolling for something that's going to make them feel at ease. So be a friend for people right now.
I think that's so good. One of the things I've been doing is just voice messaging people, just like, good morning, how's your day going? How are you? Are you ready to kill your kids yet? Whatever, like literally, but voice messaging them so they're like human contact. Because even the most introverted introverts need relationships right now, and they need to hear from people. And I feel like as an extrovert, well, first of all, we work from home. So the only thing that's changed and the only thing that's cramping my style is that all my kids are home and I actually can't do my job. Totally different story. But like I get this outlet from Zooming with my team multiple times a day. It's like human interaction, but most people don't get that. So I love that this is part of this is part of one of the benefits of being a part of this organization, is that we do get to love on each other and encourage each other every single day through technology. But I think that's so good. So what would you say to somebody on your team who's like, the world is falling apart. I can't recruit anybody into this business right now, and I can't, offer anybody any products right now.
Okay, well, what I really love is how we've incorporated the It Works from Home, and they're doing them at noon and 8. So one kind of takes you out of the picture. So it's not like you trying to sell them something. It's you referring, hey, you know what? My friend's going to be on Facebook Live tonight. You really got to hear her story, because it's about hearing their stories. That's why I love how they're doing the It Works from Home, because it is sharing the opportunity. But if you have listened to those, it's all about their journey. It's about the story. It's, they're relating to people, and they're relating to people like at this time right now. So I would plug them into those. Every day there's a different one on, so they can watch those, and then just have people follow back up with them. So send people to watch them, but then watch if your people are watching. So then you have a way to say, hey, I saw that you were watching. I was watching too. What did you think about that? And then to start the conversation. And then also don't forget about all of the customers you already have, all of the distributors that we already have. I would be reaching out to them, just saying, hey, how you doing? Want to make sure you're doing okay. And, I know this is a crazy time. Are you taking care of everything? And then you can offer, you can just use your own testimony of, man, I'm so glad we have the immunity. I've been taking mine every day. Are you? Don't ask, did you buy it yet? Just say, I'm taking mine. Are you? And then they'll be like, wait, what do you mean? I don't have the immunity, or how do I get it? Or, talk to them like that rather than sales.
That's such a good tip. I love that. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want to ask you about products in just a second, because I know that you went to, an event specifically with that holistic medicine doctor as well, and have more information specifically on the coronavirus. But what would you say to somebody one of your distributors who's like, I don't feel like I can talk to anybody about the business or talk to anybody about the products because everybody's so stressed right now and they just don't feel good in their heart doing that?
Right. But it comes back to, what are you talking to them about? Or I wouldn't want to just call someone on right now too and just say, hey, our business just went on sale. Like, it's the way you're approaching them. That person that's afraid to talk to people has to reach out, and just start by reaching out, just to have a conversation of, how are you doing? Maybe they will then say, I'm not doing very good. We don't have money. And then you can say, well, we have our business and they just put it on sale. I don't know if I know money's tight right now, but if you're really looking for something, they did it in such a way that you can join and actually make more money than you're actually going to invest. So, kind of
I love
putting it
that.
that way.
That's so
Yeah.
simple, and it's just loving. Like it
Yeah.
really is all about the approach. I love it.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so tell us what products you are specifically recommending right now and why, for the masses who need what we have, and also for the people who are just kind of freaking out about everything.
Right. So, I mean, I love our reds and greens. Reds, greens, immunity. Anytime you give your body those good nutrients, those good foods, it's going to help boost your immune system. So, and it does it because they're antioxidants. So when your body gets under stress and you have too much oxidation, then the antioxidants will help with that. So, I mean, as for like antivirals, we don't have anything like an antiviral in our line. So, and you really don't want to take antivirals unless you actually have the virus, because you start loading up your body with antivirals, then if you actually get it, it almost has an opposite effect. It's like homeopathic, if you guys know what that is. You don't want to give your body something that it doesn't need, because then your body's not going to know to make it when it really needs it. It's kind of like crying wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can actually overdo it. Your body, it's designed to take care of itself. It knows what to do. So, I mean, really, the best thing you can do is, and I know it's easier said than done, but this fearfulness, the stress and being fearful lowers your frequency. So we're talking about quantum physics right now because everything has a frequency. So if you want to kind of get into that, I can explain to you how the frequency works. So it doesn't require any drugs or anything. Frequency, every every single thing on the planet has a frequency, and so do you. So a frequency means like it's kind of like the rate that you're vibrating at, and it's an electrical thing. So it's nothing wooey, it's not spiritual, it's actually very scientific. So if you plugged yourself in, you could measure yourself and you would be a certain hertz. So electricity is measured in hertz. And a healthy body, a healthy human should be, around 60 hertz. When you start putting fearful thoughts, fear, shame, and guilt, those are all very low frequency. And when you start putting those in your body, then your entire body starts what they call resonating. So you're vibrating at a really low frequency. So this is when your immune system is weakened, because it's like if you're a light bulb, you're dimming. So you want to keep that light bulb really bright. The only way to brighten it is to keep it plugged into high voltage, which high voltage comes from food, but also thoughts. So loving thoughts, joyful thoughts, faith thoughts, prayer, being quiet, meditating, yoga, exercise, drinking water, all of these things boost your frequency. Because when that virus comes around you, first it has to get into your frequency. So because if you think it also like magnetic, if you're vibrating at a low frequency and that virus is a low frequency, you're going to attract it because they're the same. But if you are vibrating at a high frequency and that virus is a low frequency, you're going to repel it. It's like a magnet. It's, when in school, when you used to have the little magnet and it would, you had the iron things, it would repel or would attract. It's the exact same thing. So keeping your frequency high. So this is why super green, super reds, these fruits and vegetables are high frequency because they come from the sun, they're grown in the earth, they're plants. So not only taking the reds and the greens, but also eating lots of good fruits and vegetables. Also water, water is like a conductor. So the more water that you drink, the more it's like an electricity conductor. So hopefully that made sense and not too quantum weirdness on you. But that's what's really going on when it comes to, that's why there's talk about the 5G and all of that. But I won't go there because that's just too much controversy. But it does play a role. Even holding my cell phone right now, there's frequency coming out of this. When you open your car door with your car opener, there's a certain frequency that unlocks your door. So there's a certain frequency that is going to unlock this virus, and you do not want to have that frequency. So what do? Turn the channel. You just go on a different channel. So, I mean, it's that easy. It sounds complicated, but this science is not, it's easy when you really understand how it works. So my advice to you is get out in the sunshine. If it's winter where you are, then you can't actually walk in the snow, but with your bare feet. But if you're anywhere that you can just step on the grass, breathe in all the fresh air, this is all really good frequency. But if you're not, focus on loving things, because love is the highest frequency. So, and this is why you're seeing so much compassion in the world right now. I mean, it's mind-blowing. And you hear about skies are bluer, waters are clearing up. There's like less smog in China than there ever was. There's a reason that all of this is happening. So in the end, I can guarantee you there's a happy ending, because there always is. So I'm just looking at what are all the things that we're learning from this, so we don't have to go through this again.
Oh, that's so good. I have chills. Like just thinking about our earth getting better because of people's love.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. And it might like you said, like it's not a weird thing. It's not a spiritual thing. It's a scientific thing. And I think that that is so cool. So what would you, let's talk about mindset for just a few minutes. And then I would love to know, like, what are some of your best things that you would direct people to boost their spirit, to, what to meditate on, any of that.
So mindset. So there's a lot we could talk about with mindset. So pick one thing.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about let's talk about the mindset of wealth building, because everybody's here, and whether they're just trying to make an extra $300 a month or they want to be an ambassador diamond, we're all focused on wealth building. And what are let's talk about like maybe some mental blocks that people might have, and then things
Yeah.
that we can do just to shift that.
Right. Because that's exactly what it is. Anything that comes to the mind is a limiting belief or a program. So something, um, let's say your limiting belief is people often get stuck at a number. Like they'll get to a certain number, like $1,000, and then they're stuck and they can't get past it. So where do you think that number came from? Let's just pick $1,000. So if you said, okay, I want to make $1,000 a month, and then you hit it, and then you're like, why can't I make 2,000? Why can't I make 3,000? So mindset has a lot to do with like it's a mind set. You set it at what you want it to be. You set it by your words, you set it by the programming. So once your mind is set, then that's exactly what you're going to get. So you set it at $1,000. But where did that come from? Where did the $1,000 come from? When you first thought of the $1,000, that probably came from what you were already making. Like you probably were making around $1,000 at your job. Maybe you're working part-time or college student or something, but you're making $1,000. So that number felt comfortable to you. So you chose $1,000. So the reason you can't get past it is because it came from old programming. So nearly everything, I would actually say everything, like 100%, is from programming. So when I say programming, I mean when you were little, between the ages of 1 and 7, everything that you've seen, everything that you heard, books you read, movies you watched, things you heard your parents say, environments that you were in, things that you read, like even children's stories, that these things deeply planted into your subconscious. So how does that happen? Because your brain, during those years, you're in a hypnotic state. It's called theta. And this is a fact. This is science. So it's not like someone hypnotized you. That's how you were walking around. Children are like this. This is why children have such great imaginations, because they're not in what they call beta. This is the beta brain is your like analytical thinking. It's the mechanics of it. They just don't think that way. So it's because they're in that other brain theta, alpha theta in there. So that's like a hypnotic state. So you're literally absorbing everything. And so when you absorb that, not only are you absorbing it, it's locked in. It's a mindset. It's set. So you set that mindset years and years and years ago, and you really didn't even have anything to do with it. So none of that is your fault. But right now, because you're an adult, you have to choose that you want something different. And a lot of you, a lot of people, you won't even know what this programming is until you start noticing. So that's the biggest thing, is you have to start noticing. Start noticing your reactions, because it's the reactions that will give you the clues. Because it's your subconscious, you react to things. So trying to think of a good example. that if you were, do you ever have one of those times when you just said something and you were like, where did that come from? Like, as if that's not me. Where did that come from? I don't even know who that person is that was, or you're thinking these thoughts that you know aren't even true, or you're thinking these things, you're saying these things about yourself or about other people. Like, especially in this business, I've done it myself. I'll sign someone up and think, oh, they're probably not going to do anything. I did that. I thought that. I thought that based off of old programming. I prejudged that person because somebody else that might have looked like her 5 years ago didn't do anything when they signed up. So it's all programming. So so how do you overcome that? That again is daily consistent practice. You have to just decide, well, what do you want to set your mind at? Because whatever you set it at, that's what you're going to get. So if you know this is where I want to be, okay, then you set your mind on those things, and you have to show up like that every day. And it's just such a discipline. It's the only way I can think of it, is it's a discipline. Every single day, you have to discipline yourself to get out of bed and do the things that, because repetition, that's one way to reprogram, has to be repeated. Repetition. So every single day, getting up and acting as if, being the new mindset that it is that you're working towards. And then the more you do that, you're creating new habits. So there's a really good book that explains all of this. It's what is it called? Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And he goes into detail, but very, very simple explanations, not high level at all. So it would be, I think there's a lot of questions being asked, but I'm missing them. So I'll go back and get them. But yeah, so that's the book I would recommend, because literally it would take me an hour to explain everything in that book, but he does such a good job. And if you can, I would get the audio, because again, it's programming. So you can read, but because you're already programmed, you'll be programmed to skip over. This is so true. I know you guys are going to agree with me. You're going to skip over the most important parts because you're programmed. Your mind will go past it. But if it's coming in your ears, you'll hear it. So get the audio book if you can.
That's so good. What's the author's name?
Joe Dispenza.
Joe Dispenza. Okay. And it's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because even think about, if you've ever read the Bible and you're like, you read it again and you'll be like, I've read this 5 times. I don't know, why didn't I see it that last time? Because you were programmed to glance over it, around it, every other verse except it, until you're ready to see it. So it's the same thing anytime you read something, because of the way you're programmed. But yeah, this is why it comes from hearing the word. So if you're going to read, you'll have to read it out loud. So it's better to have somebody else read it.
So for those of us, which is like all of us, who were broken as children,
we all were.
we were all damaged, and we're all damaging our own children. So let's just get that out there. Does, like Yvette says, does redirecting with affirmations and actions help reprogram your brain?
Yeah, so that's all going to be helpful. So, because you're hearing it, you're seeing it, the more physical that you can make it. But the number one thing, because you can do all of that, but if you don't have this one thing, none of it's going to work. You have to feel it. You have to literally be it. You have to become it. So you need to, in every fiber of your being, imagine what it would like to feel, what it would feel like. So that's what I don't, when I say what would it, I don't even say what would it be like to be a black diamond. I say, what would it feel like? How do I feel when I am a black diamond? So I see like visualizing. It's like visualizing, because then you're bringing the observer effect, but you haven't seen it yet, so you don't know what it would look like, and you haven't really felt it yet, so you don't know what it feel like, but you have to use the imagination. So that's where the imagination comes in. A little plug for my book, What Walt Knew. It's all about that. It's how to use the imagination and why imagination is so important, because that's what God gave us. It's the kingdom within is your imagination. That's the only little plug I'll put in for the book, but it talks all about that.
Is your book on Audible, or do we have to actually read it out loud to ourselves?
So it's not on Audible, but I was just recorded by, it's called Brain Tap. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but this is a really cool way you can reprogram your brain. I'll try to get you the link, because I have a link that goes directly to my book, and this is a world famous hypnotist, and he took my book and put it into like a hypnosis subliminal that you listen to before you go to bed. So you're literally getting my whole book in 20 minutes, and it's like a free.
Yes, we need
day.
that link for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we can get your book on Amazon, or do you have a different website for that?
No, you can get it on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So does sleep hypnosis, is that something, so this is not sleep hypnosis, this is actually before you go to bed, but is sleep hypnosis helpful as well?
I think so. I've used it a lot for myself. I will listen before I go to bed. I don't usually just let it unless I fall asleep, but it's more so when you talk about, let's go back to the brainwaves for a sec because it'll explain that. So when you are in beta, you're alert, you're doing things, you're organizing, your brain is a high level. And then when you get into the meditative relaxed state, which is right before you fall asleep, you get into that state. It's theta alpha, that state. And then one more plug for my book. So Peter Pan, we think about the movie Peter Pan, when he talks about that state, he actually says, the time between when you're falling asleep and when you're waking up, that's the time. This is the time, that's like the magical time, I guess you would call it, that you can subliminally plant into your subconscious, or you can reprogram, because that's the same state you were in between age 1 and 7. So it's that half asleep time, because once you go deeper, that's delta. And in delta, now you're in dream state. So it's kind of too far. So you really want to be almost half asleep, and then it does the best job at that time. That's more hypnotic state.
So for your book, or for anything, I mean, I would love
Yeah.
to get other recommendations, and I know you can send me a list, but
Mhm.
just things to listen to when you're in that state, what types
Yeah.
of things would you recommend?
Right. So anything that, well, depending on your need, what it is that if it's abundance, some people just like, you can get verses from the Bible that are all abundance. So, like 33 different verses that they're just read with, maybe there's some binaural beats that just means like there's some frequency in the background that's helping it penetrate even more. But it's Bible verses, or it can be affirmations. You can go to sleep just listening to affirmations. If it's health, there's visualization, there's meditation specifically that you can tell your cells to boost your immune system. Those are, I mean, especially right now, I've listened to those a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, just making sure that all my cells know that they're supposed to be behaving right now. So, and it's really just filling them with light, letting your body know there's nothing to be afraid of, that you know what I've been saying a lot lately, because I go for a walk every day. I am the righteousness of God. And when I'm the righteousness of God, then what can come against me? You know, nothing formed against me shall prosper. So I'm reciting verses. But when you think about it, just saying those things, but letting it get into my cells, like I'm imagining. So I'm speaking it. I'm walking. It's like a walking meditation. So I do walking meditations too. But so you can do them anytime, really, as long as you are relaxed and you're in the state of that, you got to be really calm and very relaxed. Breathing will help you get into that state as well. It's just easy when you go to bed because you're already kind of groggy. So it seems a little faster just for somebody new that doesn't know how to get themselves to calm down a little bit. It's easier just to do it before you go to bed with headphones. Headphones work better because then you're able to like shut everything else out.
That is so cool. Yes. If you will send me that link or whatever,
okay. Yes.
Whatever, or the link to purchase it or whatever, I will share that. That would be amazing.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been the coolest Zoom. Like, I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think this has been the absolute most amazing Zoom. Do you have any like last minute tips you would leave with us, since you've been here for 13 years and you've been through a lot of different things and you've seen it all?
Well, that's it. You know what? I have been here for 13 years and I have seen it all, and I have seen enough to tell you this is going to pass. And it's not going to be long. We're going to look back just like, we look back on the rap shortage. We look back on the, Y2K and all that crazy stuff that goes on. Things come and go, and it's how you're going to react. And, just breathing every day and implementing these tips that I gave you tonight, it's the fear is more harmful than anything else. And they're really, if you think about it, are you healthy? Is your family healthy? Do you have food? Do you have a roof over your head? Yes. Everything else is going to be okay. But even if it wasn't, you have so much. And focusing on what you have right now is going to give you much more peace than worrying about what you don't have.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, thank you so much, Carla. I appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I will be getting your book tonight.
Okay.
I'm very excited to read it.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Carla. Bye.
Bye, everyone.